Perfect.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I was just giving my little spiel about how grateful we are for studios like yours that help support our print issue. We do one print issue a year, and it's only because of our studio partners who just help us get them out in the world and share the magazine. So thank you so much. I just wanted to start by saying that. And please introduce yourself. Tell us about your beautiful, I mean, stunning space, literally on a lake. So I can't wait to
Right.
hear more about it.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm Christine Voice, so I'm the studio manager here at Yoga on the Lake in Kohler, Wisconsin. So we are within Wisconsin, about halfway in between Milwaukee and Green Bay, or just like 2 hours north of Chicago. So really
Wow.
great location, just a few minutes from Lake Michigan. But as you mentioned, Yoga on the Lake, we are right on Wood Lake. So our main studio windows and views are overlooking the lake, which is so special and very magical.
Yeah, I'm born and raised in New York City, so our
Mhm.
studios here are a little bit different. We don't have beautiful views of lakes. We have a lot of brick.
Right.
There's some beautiful spaces inside, but to open a window and to be able to look out on that, I mean, that just sounds to me like heaven.
Yes, it is. It's really special.
So you've been a studio manager there for how long now?
I've been at the studio for 5 years. And our studio is actually part of a larger wellness destination.
Ah,
So Kohler, Wisconsin is the home of Kohler, the kitchen and bathroom products that you people might be familiar with.
yeah,
Yes.
I was going
Yes.
to ask about that because I thought,
Uh-huh.
wait a minute, that's an odd coincidence, but tell us more about
Yes.
that.
Yeah. So Kohler is that space, but we also have a hospitality. We're a hospitality destination. So we have the five-star resorts, the American Club, the golf courses, Whistling Straits, and Black Wolf Run, and then the Kohler Water Spa. So all really world-renowned spaces and destinations for people to come. So Yoga on the Lake is part of that hospitality wellness family. And so it's just been really special. We have a sister studio, Bold Cycle, just next door, and we're continuing to grow and expand our offerings. But it's really special. I think one of the things that we'll talk about is just like the uniqueness of where we're at, and obviously not taking that for granted. But we have this local community that's so strong. So the village of Kohler is about 2,000 people, and we're located within Sheboygan County. But so we have this thriving local community, but then we get the hotel guests. So people who are here on destination for
Right.
golf or girls' weekends or whatever it is. So they're coming in too as part of their experience to join us. So when you're pulling up mat to mat, it could be someone that you've known for a decade or someone who's just here for the weekend. And it's just really
Yeah.
special that cohesion that happens in the space.
I love that. And I do that as well when I go to different cities or towns or even countries. I like to check out the local
Yes.
yoga scenes. And that's always something
Mhm.
I do. I love to go to supermarkets and yoga studios. Those are like the two things
Yeah.
I'm always checking out. So that's true, and it's interesting that you do have that mix in your community as well. What is the community like? Is it students? Is it professionals? What is Kohler like? What is that area like?
Yes, I would say yes to all of it.
Yeah.
So I think that the population that we get, we have that local, like I said, probably over 75% of our classes are made up of our local community. There is a lot of professionals. There's a lot of just, the people who are working in the professional spaces or families. We have teenagers that come in and take our classes in the morning or in the evening. So
Yeah.
we have a strong populations with the adolescent population too. So it's been
Yeah.
really great. Yeah.
When did you personally start your yoga practice? Because I wish I had started as a teenager. I think it would have helped
Yes.
me immensely. But when did
Yes.
you personally start your practice?
Only about 10 years ago, and I was actually working in education
Yeah.
in the local high school as a counselor, and I had my own morning practice, and I would come to this studio before I would go to work. And I realized just, how different you feel when you work out, right? Like when
Yeah.
you're stretching. We also have our hot yoga studio, which is probably our most popular. We have the infrared panels and the humidity, but you get to go sweat it out. And then I would go to
Yeah.
work, and I was working with teenagers and just
Mhm.
seeing like the mental health impacts and crisis that some of them were going through. And I was like, maybe we did some more mind body movement. So that was my initial training. I did my 200-hour through Yoga on the Lake, and then I was certified in teen or adolescent, so children yoga
Yeah.
with a trauma informed focus. And so I started doing it at the schools. Um,
Wow.
and so with that, I eventually ended up moving into this full time role with Kohler as the manager, but we're still at 3 different school districts, and we're in there regularly multiple times a week. We have a high school locally that gets high school and college credit for our classes. So, but
Wow.
it's like the self, like you're saying, like the self-regulation skills, the breathing
Yeah.
techniques, emotional regulation. Like we're really kind of just working on that mind body connection and awareness, really. So that power
Yeah.
to pause. And so many times the instructors are like, I wish someone would have, like the teachers or their parents, I wish I would have had this when I was younger. So we feel
Yeah.
really grateful to get to share that too, because it's so, as you know, the practice is so powerful for everyone. And so
Yeah.
that early exposure can be super beneficial.
And it's fascinating too because, as you've been practicing 10 years and that is a
Mhm.
long time. So you
Yeah.
can see within yourself how your personal practice has changed. And imagine starting as a teenager and then
Yes.
evolving it over the years. Like that's to me one of the many beautiful things about this practice is how it's
Mhm.
shifting and how what we need and what we take from it, for me at least, is always very different. And we
Mhm.
mentioned, the theme of our next issue is community, and I love that you're part of the community in that way too.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the beautiful things about studios and yoga and wellness. Mostly, I was going to say 99% of the time is that interaction and that building up of the community. So I think it's amazing that y'all are doing that in such a beautiful space as well. So
Yeah.
you mentioned that you have a yoga teacher training as well. What is that
Mhm.
like? What is that? Is it like an in-person? Is it weekends? What is your
Yes.
YTT like?
Yeah, thanks for asking. We're doing it a little different this time. So we try to do it annually, and the last time, or the few past times, we've done like 3-day weekends over 10 weeks, or once a month over 10 months. So we've done
Yeah.
different formats, and this time we're going to run it as like an intensive. So we're going to do,
Oh,
I know, right? We're going to try it like a once a week virtual for a few hours for 10 weeks. So April through the beginning of June. And so more of like the philosophy, a lot of interaction and some of those other pieces too. But then we're
right.
going to come together for like a more intensive in June. So it'll be
Hmm.
full days straight through from the 14th through the 28th of,
Wow.
yeah, so
Yeah.
it'll be really great of just getting on our mats, practicing the teaching. And as I mentioned, because we're located as part of a larger destination, we're going to really lean into our spaces.
Mm.
We have 2 outdoor platforms. So we have one located in the woods
Yeah.
at Black Wolf Run. So some trails that we hike out, and then we're like really immersed in nature, and the trees in the forest. And many times we have, there's animals that come out and they're walking through it. So we'll utilize that space. I know people are like, "Did you plant this? Like, how did you get this to happen?"
You're
So
like,
it's
bring
really,
in the deer. Bring in
yes,
the deer.
cue the light fog. Like it's so special.
Right.
And we just finished this past winter yoga platform overlooking Lake Michigan. So it's on a bluff just south of our Whistling Straits golf courses. So Lake Michigan views. So we're really hoping to, lean into circadian rhythm, sunrise
Mm.
sessions, meditation, breath work, some of the blue wave
Hmm.
energies, the blue space energies, just being near water, the sounds and the light begin to help regulate the nervous system. So we're going to incorporate all of that into our YTT, doing some contrast therapy in the winter because we are on a lake. We have a little platform. There's a hole in the ice. So after all the hot yoga, we have a lot of
Right.
members who love to go jump in the lake. So I know it's really special. So we're excited to do the intensive. So it could be
Mm.
people. We have some college students who are already signed up. So when they come for
Hmm.
the summer, they can spend a couple weeks with us just doing the full program and
Yeah.
really leaning into all facets of what yoga is and can be, like
Wow.
all that full immersion, right?
And that is good too because like you mentioned, since the first part is online, they don't have to live in the area. They can just
Right.
come for that 2 weeks that it's like 2 weeks that you have in
Yep.
June, which is probably beautiful. I mean, I'm sure every season is gorgeous where
It
you
is.
are,
Yeah.
but extra special in that June season. I know
Hmm.
when I did my YTT, I actually didn't, I tried teaching after I did it, and I found that that wasn't the right fit for me, but eventually I started this magazine. So I always share with people you never
Yeah.
know what a YTT will lead you. It can be just a personal growth or an experience, meeting. I mean, I'm still friends with a lot of people, and this was like 15 years ago I did my YTT. So
Yeah.
I always like to share with people that, it doesn't have to be the goal of I'm going to become a teacher. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
YTTs are a little bit misleading in their naming because it's so much more than that.
Yes.
It's a life-changing experience.
Yes.
And that's not an
Yes.
understatement in any
Yes.
way.
Hmm.
So I always like to share that as well. What would you think? I mean, I was going to say what makes your YTTs different and specials, but I think you already mentioned it. That
Yeah.
nature immersion part of it is just, Sounds
Yeah.
absolutely beautiful.
Yes. And thank you for saying that too, because we try to like share that when we can. Like yoga teacher
Yeah.
training, it's more of like you're also becoming a better student and not just like, right?
Yes.
Like you're deepening your own practice and your own
Yes.
knowledge of self and your relationships and the spaces around you. So
Yeah.
I would say, half of our students who sign up aren't really interested in teaching. And actually, when I did mine, I wasn't interested in teaching. I was like, how can I share more of this in my counseling practice as a
Mm-hmm.
mental health practitioner? And then with time it grew into, but I mean, it was years
Right.
between my YTT before I started teaching. So, yeah.
Yeah. I think, and I'll be honest, I think I actually joined the YPT because I wanted to learn how to do a handstand. I was like,
Right.
this was a long time ago, so I was like, I gotta learn a handstand, and this will be where I learn it. And so I still to this day can't do a handstand, but
Oh,
my life has just changed in so many other ways. So I encourage everyone, if they have the opportunity, to do one if they can, especially something like this that seems like it's accessible because of the different modalities that you have.
yeah.
What are your most popular classes? I mean, since you do have a lot of drop-ins, which are like visiting people and a lot of local people, like, do you find that
Yeah.
it's more of a power yoga community? Is it more of a restorative? What? Because you offer everything.
Yes, I think y- this question we get that a lot, but I feel like
Yeah.
it kind of seasonally it shifts a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
In the winter months, it's absolutely our hot yoga studio, and I think
Mm-hmm.
it's because of the infrared panels with the humidity. You just feel that warmth, and then you're moving,
Yeah.
you feel it in your muscles. I just feel like it warms your whole soul, right?
Yeah.
But it is, I would say, more lean towards the power. We have a soul sculpt class, which is the
Mm-hmm.
sequencing with beats and weights. And that's a daily at 5:30, 6:30, and 8 a.m. And that there are many days it's mat to mat and we're at capacity. Most days we're at
Wow.
capacity. Yeah,
Yeah.
which is great. And then I
Yeah.
think when the sun starts to shine, it warms up in
Mm-hmm.
Wisconsin. We're moving
Yeah.
more. We have a meditation garden adjacent to our studio.
Mm-hmm.
So people getting out, we have a sunrise yoga then. The
Mm-hmm.
platform yoga on the weekends gets really popular. We have a stand-up paddleboard yoga class, so those really fill up fast
Yeah.
too. So I think it's kind of seasonally, people lean into what they need and what they're
Yeah.
really looking for. And we've been really fortunate to be able to kind of pivot and work through people's needs and what those interests are too, right? The different
Yeah.
modalities.
It's almost like when you eat with the seasons, like when you practice with the seasons too, right? It actually makes
Yes,
for a better relationship
yes,
with everything. And it's funny
yes.
too, because I remember pre-pandemic, a lot of studios in New York City offered those 5 a.m. classes or 6 a.m. classes, but post-COVID, I don't see them as much anymore. Classes
Um,
seem to start like a little bit later, so it's interesting that you still have those early morning offerings. I love to see that. That's when I loved to
yes.
practice, and now
Mhm.
they're much. I would say overall, not in every studio, but in generally, they do start a little bit later, which was something that I noticed like a shift post-pandemic in studios.
Yes.
But you guys have only been open, you've been open since 2001, I would say. So you kind of were straddling that area of COVID, post-COVID, wherever we are now, right?
Yes, everything kind of in between. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's
But
definitely, you've
but
probably seen a shift.
we have, yes. And
Yeah.
I think it is that because of the professional community around us that they're trying to get it in
Hmm.
before work a lot of times, or
Yeah.
if it's drop off or things like that. But then we do have as late as 7 p.m. to our evening classes and
Yeah.
those are the more restorative, the yin, we have some kundalini, we have a
Yeah.
yoga nidra where we have aerial silks that hang
Oh,
down and, our
yeah.
guests come and lay in them and they get the guided meditation. So we always say like, we have something for everyone. And as
Yeah.
people say, yoga is for everybody. There's something for everyone.
I love that. I love that.
Mhm.
What do you see for the future of the studio? Do you see expanding to other spaces? Do you see, because I don't think I saw any retreats on your schedule. Do you have any retreats coming up?
Yes, I will say yes to both of those. And actually, we
Yeah.
didn't have a chance to connect on this, but we are expanding this year at the end of 2026. I know, right? So
Perfect.
we're going to have a physical expansion of our space. So we're going to have
Mhm.
locker rooms. We're adding community cold plunge, community saunas. So we can do some of more of the intentional breath work, the contrast
Mhm.
therapy. We're adding more. Three of us at our studio just finished level 2 of our sound bath training. So implementing those in our existing spaces and expanding those offerings as well. So the physical footprint is definitely growing, always changing, right? And then retreats, we do offer them. We have one in April coming, the yoga, I know, yes. Rest and restore. So
Yeah.
we love to do collaborations too,
Mhm.
with just, yoga practitioners from around the country. So we have some guest
Yeah.
practitioners coming in, and we do a weekend of just different, right, like you're saying, like the different types of yoga, different
Mm.
platforms, some kriyas, and then we usually try to incorporate some of the food, and we've done a really nice
Oh,
job with
yeah.
the chefs on property. We'll do some of the Ayurvedic theming with
Yeah.
seasons or what we're working on. So it's been a really fun immersion. And then our local community can get in on those too as workshop formats and things like that.
So much great stuff. I think we're gonna have to visit Wisconsin
You
because
need to.
I've never been, and it looks
Oh,
absolutely beautiful. And
it
that's one of the
is.
things I love about doing this magazine and meeting all these people is that you learn about all these
Yes.
beautiful spaces
Yes.
all over the country. And you're just like, it's just so beautiful, and it's so fun to just meet all the different people. If you want to share one thing today that you're excited about, that you want people to know about, or anything that you just want to share with us,
Yeah,
anything that we haven't.
I think it's for Yoga on the Lake, it always feels like a special place and a special experience. But whenever I'm talking to friends or people who are like, "Oh, you manage a yoga studio, tell me more," I really want to just lean into that idea of like community is there for you, whether it's your first time on the mat, whether you're going through something really hard or like you're a seasoned practitioner.
Yeah,
Like I think so many studios are just there with open arms, and there's a mat, and whatever you need can be found there.
yeah,
So whether it's our studio or another space, I just feel like this practice is so special, and the community is always growing and always here with open arms. And I think the more I turn on social media or the news or spaces, it can feel really
yeah,
dysregulating. And so I feel like now more than ever, we just need those spaces where we can come and put down what we're holding and know that the person next to us is probably going through something similar or not. And it doesn't matter. Like we're just able to
yeah.
come to our physical body. We're connecting with each other, connecting with the breath. And there's so much in that, and I just worry about the people who maybe are worried about taking that first step. But I promise,
Yeah.
I always tell my students, the hardest part is over once you get through the door. The hardest part can just be showing up, right?
Yeah.
So
And
take the leap because it's it's so rewarding in ways that you would never know.
and I love that you mentioned that too, because I think it's important for people to also know that if one specific class, if you try yoga and you try one class,
Hmm.
that might not be the class for you, and that might not be the teacher for you, right? Because there's
Yes.
so many different teachers and styles and everything. And I always try to tell people, try another, and even try another studio. And I love that you mentioned that because
Yeah.
it could just be maybe you don't like beautiful lake views and gorgeous. And who knows? We don't know
Yes.
what people
Yes.
love, right? So like always
Hmm.
just keep trying,
Hmm.
and if it still doesn't, it's not a fit for everyone, that's fine. But I do like to always encourage people though, oh, I don't like yoga. Well, okay, but did you try another one? Maybe try another teacher, try something else. Just
Yeah.
try, please try.
Yes.
But thank you for mentioning that. And when we thought of the theme of community for this next issue, I my definition of community has really just exploded in a beautiful way since everything that's happened in the last
Hmm.
month, week, day, hour, you
Yeah.
know? And it's just now more than ever, you're right. We need that community. We need to know that that person next to me is breathing and has feelings and is doing their best always. And I love that the practice in the studios remind us of that. So thank you for
Hmm.
holding these spaces and
Oh,
keeping them open and showing up.
yes.
Sometimes when you're like, how am I doing this? So thank you for that. And thank you for
Yeah.
being a part of, bringing more of this into the world. I'm so grateful, to be able to meet people that are just bringing more beauty and joy into the world. So thank you for that.
Yeah. Well, thank you, right? Like it's just that the community, and this is community,
Yeah.
right? And we get to
Yeah.
share experiences and get the word out and whatever that is to each person. So
Yes.
thank you.
And we will be heading over to Wisconsin. So if anyone wants to join us,
Right.
we will be coming from New York to visit your beautiful space. Thank you so
Perfect.
much for chatting
Yes.
with us today. And check out your beautiful space in Wisconsin online. You can do your YTT. You can go for a day and just enjoy it. I'm going to save this on our page and send you the link as well. And our community show will be available at your studio. And we will send more for your YTT and everything you need, so you can get a free copy when it launches in June. Thank you so much for chatting
Thank
with us
you.
today
Yes.
and hope to see you this summer.
Can't wait. We'll see you then.
Take care. Have a good one.
Bye.